Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan begins a 3-day visit to India. Bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual concern on the table. In talks he'll be having with top Indian leaders. Only Congress can defeat Congress in Kerala, says Rahul Gandhi, as he calls on state leaders to stand united and overcome infighting for the state assembly elections. Deposition of American-Pakistani terrorist David Coleman Headley on the 26/11 attacks couldn't be held today due to a technical snag in the video conferencing facility. It's to continue tomorrow and dates may be extended further. And Donald Trump wins by a huge margin. Bernie Sanders runs away with the honors over Hillary Clinton at the New Hampshire primary in the U.S. presidential race. A top story this evening, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, is in India for a 3-day visit. During the visit, the two sides will seek to strengthen cooperation on regional and international issues of mutual concern.
The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, begins his 3-day India visit with a high-profile delegation of ministers, businesspersons and economists by his side. The Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces of the UAE will call on President Pranab Mukherjee and hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on issues of mutual interest.
This would provide an opportunity to have detailed discussions, consolidate the domains of the existing partnership, and also to constructively build on the vision of the comprehensive strategic partnership in some new areas, new agreed areas, which are, if I may name a few, production of defense equipment in India, strategic partnership in security, in counter-terrorism, cooperation in nuclear and the space sector, in energy sector, including renewable energy.
The Crown Prince's visit follows the Prime Minister's visit to the UAE in August last year. During that visit, the two sides agreed to elevate the relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. India and the UAE have historically enjoyed close, friendly relations. India's bilateral trade with the UAE amounted to $59 billion in 2014-15, making the UAE its third largest trading partner.
The figure mentioned in our joint statements was investments up to $75 billion. That needs to be realized over time. The first such step in this direction would be taken when we discuss about UAE investments in our National Investment Fund.
Almost 70 lakh Indians live and work in the Gulf region, sending
Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking with Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi.
Trade relations between India and UAE are fast converting into political and strategic relationship between the two. That means India's credibility is increasing among Arabian and Middle East nations. Akhilesh Soman for Sabha television with camera person Junaid in Delhi.
And Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi today urged leaders of the party's Kerala unit to stand united together and rise above factionalism. Ahead of the assembly polls in the state later this year, Rahul's Thiruvananthapuram visit comes in the backdrop of reports of feuds within the Kerala Congress and allegations of corruptions in the ranks.
Congress party is in a position to win the election. There is only one thing that the Congress party needs to do. The CPM cannot defeat the Congress party in Kerala.
The greatest thrust of the Congress Vice President's speech at the KPCC executive meeting in Thiruvananthapuram. A call to end infighting and bickering in the state unit and fight the coming assembly polls united. Rahul Gandhi is spending 2 days in Kerala, looking to knit together a party unit torn apart by internal battles and corruption charges dogging the government it runs.
Once the election is over, you are more than welcome to fight among yourselves. For 1 or 2 months, I would request the Congress family and the senior leaders, please hold hands, join up in spirit, work together, and let the Congress party rule Kerala again for another 5 years.
In turn, state party leaders asked Rahul not to have any truck with the CPIM in West Bengal, an issue that is under discussion there. The CPIM is the Congress's main rival in Kerala. Local Congress leaders termed the left party undependable and opportunistic, accusing it of pursuing politics of violence. CPIM leaders have hit back, saying the present UDF government in Kerala is racked by infighting with no moral right to continue.
He is trying to divert the attention from the real issues. Actually, in Kerala, there is no government at all. The ministers are fighting each other, the allies of the UDF are fighting each other, and the government is standing as a mute witness to all these developments. There is no governance in Kerala, it is only corruption.
Though the Congress-led UDF enjoys a slim majority in the Kerala Assembly, CPM swept the local body elections last year. The solar scam and bar bribery scam have rocked the state government, with the BJP making slow but sure inroads. The challenge ahead for the state Congress is a big one. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The BJP National President Amit Shah says his party looks forward to a partnership between the BJP and the Bodoland People's Front for ushering in development in the Bodoland Territorial Council. Shah was addressing a public rally today on the occasion of Bodo Accord Day in Kokrajhar, Assam. He also showed a 1,000 crore package from the Centre for Development of the Bodoland Territorial Council, claiming that development is only possible in the state when the BJP and the BPF forms the next government. Shah alleged that the ruling Congress has put the state behind in development. Shah blamed the Congress for vote bank politics by allowing Bangladeshi infiltration into the state.
15 साल के कांग्रेस की शासन में असम विकास की दौड़ में बहुत पिछड़ गया, पीछे पड़ गया है, क्योंकि 15 साल तक केवल और केवल भ्रष्टाचार और अपने परिवार के लिए शासन करने के अलावे गोगोई साहब ने कुछ नहीं किया। भारतीय जनता पार्टी और बीपीएफ की सरकार अगर आती है तो हम इसकी चिंता सुनिश्चित करेंगे कि एक भी नया घुसपैठिया आसामी युवाओं के अधिकार पर अपना हक न जमा सके, इसकी चिंता भारतीय जनता पार्टी करेगी।
The 26/11 attacks mastermind David Coleman Headley's deposition before the Mumbai Session Court was adjourned today due to a technical glitch in the video link at the US end. The testimony will continue tomorrow. The court initially adjourned the deposition for an hour but later adjourned for the day as the glitch could not be rectified immediately. The deposition, which was initially planned till the 12th of February, may extend for some more time. For the past 2 days, Headley has been deposing from an undisclosed location in the United States and revealed information about how Pakistan's spy agency ISI helped terror outfits in conducting the attack and how he recce'd several locations. During the deposition, Headley had also revealed that he visited India 7 times before the attack and the LAT attempted to attack the city twice before 26/11. Meanwhile, there is still a sense of denial in Pakistan as far as David Coleman Headley's revelations are concerned. The country's former Interior Minister Rahman Malik rubbished the testimony and called it a pack of lies and fabricated statements. Malik even called Headley a raw agent and accused India of trying to defame Pakistan. Pakistan media too downplayed Headley's deposition, with most newspapers discounting him of his Pakistani heritage. Leading newspapers in the country like Dawn, the Express Tribune, referred to Headley as an American convict and did not carry any direct quotes of his, instead quoting only Special Public Prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam. In the condition of Siachen's braveheart soldier, Himanapa Kopad remains critical. Comatose Kopad is suffering from severe pneumonia and his lungs and liver are also not properly functioning. A team of doctors treating Kopad says he's expected to have a stormy course in the next 24 hours due to complications caused by rewarming and establishment of blood flow to the cold parts of the body. And the latest update right now is that his condition has deteriorated. We'll be getting you the latest on that as well. Meanwhile, prayers have been pouring in from the entire country for Kopad's speedy recovery. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis wished the army man a speedy recovery. Special prayers were also conducted at Mumbai's Siddhi Vinayak temple and in Varanasi as well. Hanumantappa survived for 6 days, buried under tons of snow in the Siachen Glacier after an avalanche hit his post at an altitude of 19,600 feet, close to the line of control. He was miraculously rescued on Monday by a team of over 150 soldiers and 2 canines. So today is the second and last day of the 47th Governors' Conference, currently underway at Rashtrapati Bhavan in the national capital. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the concluding session later in the evening today. 23 governors and 2 lieutenant governors are participating in the two-day conference. On the first day of the conference on Tuesday, President Pranab Mukherjee had said that governors can play a persuasive role in improving the quality of education in the country. He had also said that the country had grown from strength to strength since independence, primarily due to the steadfast adherence to the principles enshrined in the Constitution. And here's a roundup of all the other national news updates nationwide. Proceedings of the Kerala Assembly were disrupted for the second consecutive day on Wednesday after LTF continued its protest against the government. The House was adjourned over the bar bribery scam. The opposition members trooped into the well of the House, seeking a permission to move an adjournment motion over the matter. The Speaker, however, rejected the plea, stating that discussing a subject which was before a court would violate the Assembly rules. The odd-even scheme will soon make a comeback in the national capital. The dates for implementation will be announced by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Thursday. Transport Minister Gopal Rai said the government will make the announcement after reviewing over 11 lakh responses received from the public through multiple channels. A Delhi court has fixed 17th February for hearing a complaint filed against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The complainant sought to lodge an FIR against the Chief Minister for allegedly misleading people by stating that municipal corporations are not under the AAP government's control. Kejriwal had come out with a full-page ad in newspapers last year saying that the MCD did not fall under the Delhi government. Haryana's Health Minister Anil Vij faced a political backlash on Wednesday for his comments on beef eaters. On Tuesday, Vij had said that those who cannot live without eating beef should not visit the state. Haryana's cow protection law, which came into force last year, bans the trafficking and slaughter of cows and consumption of beef. Violators under the law can face 3 to 10 years in jail for killing a cow. Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Breaking tomorrow on Rajya Sabha television. One of the greatest scientific discoveries of our lifetime. A major scientific achievement that will change our understanding of the universe. Live on Rajya Sabha television. 8 p.m. onwards on the 11th of February. Keep watching. Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Hello, I am Ishan Russell.
I'm Tracy Shilchi and you're watching News Tonight.
To Together with the team of our
dedicated professionals from across various fields.
This is Shyam Sundar,
Vishal Dahiya,
Akhilesh Suman,
Frank Pereira from Beijing, China.
Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television. We bring to you
the news that matters here on Rajya Sabha TV. Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Now, political parties have united in their response to a governor panel recommendation on quota in private jobs. The National Commission for Backward Classes has recommended 27% reservation for OBCs. The industry has called the recommendation impractical.
A government panel has recommended 27% reservation in private sector jobs for candidates belonging to other backward classes.
Day by day, गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर की नौकरियां कम हो रही हैं, प्राइवेट सेक्टर की नौकरियां हो रही हैं और प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए जो लेजिस्लेशन होना चाहिए था वो अभी तक नहीं हुआ है. वी फील के इट इज ए वेरी अप्रोप्रिएट टाइम कि ये होना चाहिए. इसीलिए कमीशन ये महसूस किया कि कमीशन सरकार से रिकमेंड करे और रिक्वेस्ट करे.
Social Justice Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot has said that an official level committee has been formed and consultation with industrialists and corporate leaders are on. There seems to be union among political parties for this move.
Question of giving to private companies, that imposing this restriction on the private company is totally against the constitutional principle. Private companies raise their own funds, they create a company, and it has to be on merit.
हम लोगों का तो आज से नहीं, दलित सेना में जब थे तब से पार्टी का लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी बनी, तब से हम लोगों का डिमांड है और मांग कर रहे हैं कि निजी क्षेत्र में आरक्षण होना चाहिए. चूंकि जितने पब्लिक अंडरटेकिंग्स हैं वो सारे के सारे पब्लिक अंडरटेकिंग्स जो है वो सब प्राइवेट में जा रहे हैं, सरकारी संस्थाएं प्राइवेट में जा रही है.
कमीशन ने जो रिपोर्ट दी है वो तर्कसंगत है. जब समूचे देश में प्राइवेटाइजेशन हो रहा हो, जब टोटल डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट हो गया हो प्राइवेट सेक्टर का, उस समय प्राइवेट सेक्टर से आप इन समाज के वंचित समूह को नौकरियों से अलग नहीं रख सकते.
रोजगार के अवसर सबसे ज्यादा अब प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स में हैं, तो इसलिए प्राइवेट सेक्टर में भी अगर ओबीसी को अवसर मिलता है तो मैं समझता हूं कि राष्ट्रीय एकता के लिए, नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन के लिए अच्छा होगा.
The corporate world has given it a thumbs down.
अगर किसी के पर किसी एक समाज के भाग में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ना हो या बैकवर्डनेस जितना ज्यादा ना हो तो ये रिजर्वेशन पूछने में कोई मतलब नहीं है. और हम समझते हैं कि इसलिए जो लोग पूछते हैं उन्होंने अच्छी स्टडी नहीं की है, वो पॉलिटिकल रीजन से कर रहे हैं और प्राइवेट सेक्टर में रिजर्वेशन नहीं लाना है.
इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. यू सी, government can enunciate and come out with any policies, but please remember it is for private sector to do what is right for their companies. They cannot start posing and imposing these kind of restrictive policies.
Though job reservation in private sector, especially for SC/STs, has been discussed among pressure groups and in political forums, this is the first time that a formal recommendation from the National Commission for Backward Classes has come for job quota in the private sector. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some international news now, and a week after Iowa, voters in New Hampshire also sent a strong signal to the political establishment across the United States. Billionaire businessman Donald Trump secured a solid win on the Republican side after his embarrassing showing in Iowa, while Democrat Bernie Sanders crushed Hillary Clinton by a huge margin. Both candidates are riding on a wave of discontent with mainstream politics.
Two candidates, once considered long shots in the US presidential race, pulled ahead of their more established rivals on Tuesday to easily gain victory in the New Hampshire primary. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, a Democrat, won by a clear margin against his more famous rival, former Secretary of State and ex-First Lady Hillary Clinton. For a long time, it looked like Hillary would glide to the Democratic presidential nomination, but Sanders is making a race out of it. The former mayor of Burlington won virtually across the board, earning the majority of votes from men and women, independents and voters under the age of 45.
Together, we have sent the message that will echo from Wall Street to Washington, from Maine to California. And that is that the government of our great country belongs to all of the people and not just a handful of wealthy campaign contributors and their super PACs.
Speaking before a crowd of chanting supporters, Hillary Clinton assured her audience the fight had just begun. Despite the setback, she still remains the frontrunner for the Democratic nomination.
And I want to thank each and every one of you. And I want to say, I still love New Hampshire, and I always will.
Clinton defended her progressive stance and vowed to be the candidate who fixes problems and not just state them.
I know I have some work to do, particularly with young people, but I will repeat again what I have said this week. Even if they are not supporting me now, I support them.
Over on the Republican side, business mogul and presidential hopeful Donald Trump capitalized on voters who are frustrated with the establishment and looking for someone a bit different.
We are going to make America great again, but we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to beat China, Japan. We're going to beat Mexico at trade. We're going to beat all of these countries that are taking so much of our money away from us on a daily basis. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much.
Trump took around 33% of the votes, beating out rivals with a healthy track record in U.S. politics, including Texas Senator Ted Cruz and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on an impressive win tonight. And John Kasich had a good night tonight. But the real winner is the conservative grassroots.
New Hampshire, a state of 1.3 million people, is the first state in the U.S. to cast ballots in a primary. The race to the White House now moves to South Carolina. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the U.S. Director of National Intelligence says the world is experiencing the most dangerous threat to global security in the form of cyberspace crimes. He pointed at Islamic State's attack capabilities and the continued nuclear ambitions of North Korea and Iran. He described the Islamic State as a militant group which is capable of directing attacks against a wide range of targets around the world. Speaking to the Senate Armed Services Committee in Washington on Tuesday, the National Intelligence Chief revealed that North Korea has expanded their uranium enrichment facility, and their commitment to develop a long-range nuclear missile could pose a direct threat to the United States. Meanwhile, U.S. has confirmed that it will start formal talks with South Korea on deploying an advanced missile defense system in South Korea to counter the growing threat of North Korea's weapon capabilities after its rocket launch last Sunday.
The robust response you've seen not just from the United States, but around the world indicates just how isolated North Korea is. It's also a pretty clear indication that the rest of the international community agrees with the United States that this kind of action is provocative, it's destabilizing, and it's entirely inconsistent with a number of United Nations Security Council resolutions.
Some more international news now in Global Buzz. 7 people were killed and 15 others were wounded when a car bomb exploded in Damascus. The suicide bomber was disguised in police uniform and detonated his vehicle at the entrance of the police club in the capital. The IS claimed responsibility for the attack, naming the bomber as Abu Abdul Rahman al-Sham. China has confirmed its first case of the Zika virus in a man who had recently traveled to South America. The virus, which is causing international alarm after spreading through much of the Americas, was detected in a 34-year-old Chinese man. Chinese health officials downplayed the risk of the mosquito-borne virus spreading because of the winter cold. A tanker carrying LPG collided with a car in eastern Pakistan today. A fireball erupted, engulfing surrounding vehicles, and at least 10 people were killed. The accident also injured at least 17, most of them school children. The death toll in the earthquake which hit Taiwan on Saturday has risen to 46, with 94 still missing. 5 more bodies were recovered on Wednesday from the debris of the collapsed residential complex, bringing the total number of bodies pulled out to 44. Rescue operations continue at the collapsed 16-story building 4 days after the quake jolted the region. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck Chile's central region Tuesday evening, shaking buildings as far away as capital Santiago. But other than damage to infrastructure, no injuries were reported. Authorities also discounted the possibility of a tsunami hitting the country's long coast. Well, some sports now, and in news from the 12th South Asian Games, India's track and field athletes, swimmers and archers dominated the 5th day of the competition. Sajan Prakash, Saurabh Sangveka, Malvika V and P.S. Madhu swept up 7 gold medals, setting a new Games record. India bagged 6 gold, 5 silver and 3 bronze medals on day 1 of the athletics events, while in archery, the host won all 5 golds in the recurve event, finishing the competition with 10 golds and 4 silvers. India also won a gold medal each in men's and women's volleyball, as medals also poured in from cycling, weightlifting, table tennis and wushu. India are well in the lead within the medals tally with 78 golds, 36 silver and 10 bronze medals. Sri Lanka are in second place with 17 gold, 37 silver and 33 bronze. Pakistan are third with 5 golds, followed by Bangladesh with 4 gold medals. Well, that's it from us. Goodbye.